Welcome to the Living Superhuman Fitness Podcast, where we take you inside our gym, CrossFit Palm Beach, each week. It's here that we are creating new superhumans every day, transforming people's lives, helping them reach a level of health they never knew possible. We strive to answer your most burning questions on fitness, health, nutrition, training, motivation, mindset, lifestyle, and more. If you have a question, please email us at info@crossfitpalmbeach.com. You can also learn more on our blog, livingsuperhuman.com. And if you have a moment, we'd love a review from you on iTunes. All right, it's time. Let's stop being average and start living superhuman. All right, guys, welcome to the show. My name is Andrew Frezza. I'm joined by our coaching staff, Zach Egan, Dominic Scalzo, Whitney Stevenson, and Tony Frezza, co-owner. All right, so today we're going to talk about we got inspired by a blog post that Tony put together titled 5 Ways to Get the Most Out of Every Workout. So we're going to kind of go through the blog post and add some input from some of the other coaches here and just have some fun. So first one of the 5 is going to be deciding on a goal each day. So Tony, why is deciding on a goal each day so important?
Typically think like goals, of course, are lofty, something to shoot for. But what I mean by that is just set your expectations reasonably to what you can do. I think number one reason we see people stop their CrossFit membership isn't because they got injured or anything like that. It's because they're failing to meet expectations that they set for themselves that are kind of unreal. They're trying to be someone they're not, trying to be something they're not, and they should shoot for something that they can achieve. It's great to have goals, but you also want to have goals that won't get you down when you don't hit them or as you're on your way to hitting them.
Yeah, I think one of the issues that I've seen come up as we become more established as a gym, we're 3.5 years in now, is the average member in the gym is so far along that it can make a newer person put those unrealistic expectations on themselves. So when a person comes in and within a month or two they're wanting to kind of RX or RTG or whatever it might be, when that process can take years and years and they haven't seen the work that it's taken to get there for a lot of other people, and they kind of assume that it happens quickly. And if they're not, if a month or two goes by and they're not meeting those expectations, they can, think that it's not working or just get too hard on themselves and drop off.
Yeah, and I'll speak to that point. I know it took me some time to mature in CrossFit. You guys, maybe you have maturity stories as well, but I think, starting out, you just put the pedal to the metal and you crash, and then you step back.
Dom still does that.
What? You're not supposed to do that?
Better at crashing.
Dominic, Destruction Derby, Scalzo. Right, but I mean, it took some time to just figure out what your capabilities are, and just figure out how you can do CrossFit long term. I mean, because really, this isn't a short-term thing. It's not like I'm making 2017 games or I'm going back to the couch. I mean, we want to do this for life, I think. I know I do. So it took me some time to mature and figure out a game plan to do this for life.
I think that also helps the better athletes too, because some of our better athletes get a little bit discouraged when they maybe see a standard for some movement and it's not a strong movement for them, but they're like, I got to do the RTG for that movement because I do RTG for all the other movements, and if I can't keep up with that standard, then I'm not keeping up to the level that I should be at, when in reality, sometimes even I just had in the last class, I had a girl go from RTG to RX because it was a weakness for her, but it made the workout better for her. And she's going to end up progressing because we actually moved her down a little bit. But that's different for every athlete, but sometimes even our better athletes can get caught up in the expectations, and it's not good for them either.
Cool. So number 2, we're going to move on. We all really like this one, is apply the 5-minute rule. So Tony, can you explain what is the 5-minute rule?
Yeah. I think I made it up, so I'm going to claim it. I'll patent it. But the 5-minute rule works in 2 ways. The first way it works is the first 5 minutes that you wake up in the morning. I know for me, that's when all the bad thoughts creep into your head, kind of like the devil on your shoulder that says, like, snooze button, go back to sleep, keep laying in bed. And that's the time where you really have to have a plan before you go to sleep so that those first 5 minutes don't talk you out of your workout. Because I think we can all agree, if you've ever been talked out of a workout, it has come within those first 5 minutes of waking up. So for me, I plan out the first 15, 20 minutes. I know I'm going to have a protein shake or whatever it is. I know a lot of people have coffee, so they have their coffee ready to go. You just got to have those things in place so that you're not thinking. Lay out your clothes. I pick my clothes out, so I just know to grab them, put them on, go downstairs.
I just want to speak on that too, just in case. So I'm just a little different with that, and we were sort of talking about this before. But I wake up just a little bit, but I wake up and I don't really feel anything for like about 20 minutes. Like I get up, my alarm clock's not right next to me. I get out of bed, turn it off, immediately teeth brush, shower, make my breakfast, and I hop in the car, go get my coffee. And I don't drink the coffee right away. So it's like sitting in my cup holder as I drive here. And I wait till, I live kind of far away, but I wait till I hit North Lake. It's like this ritual every day. And I literally, it's North Lake, between North Lake and PJ, it's coffee can be started to be drank at that time. That's when I start it. And it's only this big. It's a lot of espresso. And when that happens, the second I drink that, that's when all the thoughts come into my head. And it's bad thoughts, because in that process I'm also,
what kind of coffee are you drinking?
it's Cuban. It's Cuban. But in that time though, while that drive is happening, why I don't drink that either is I have my morning rituals in the car where I have it's not like a meditation where I'm closing my eyes and doing that, but it's where I get my mind right, and I do a morning prayer. That whole drive is dedicated to me, me time. So with that said, I literally don't feel anything until I do that. And if on Sundays, sometimes I forget because I don't do that drive. Totally, Sunday is it's a messed up day. That usually doesn't happen until 1 in the afternoon. I'm oh wow, I haven't thought about anything until 1 today. What's happening right now?
Trying to find yourself.
Trying to find myself all day, and I don't know why. And I know that's my time. So I have a 20 to 30 minute span. And then I'm okay, I'm here, let's go. Here's the day, laid out, go. And every day is where I do that plan. It's been like that for 4 years, every day. Just a little different because of different scenery and stuff, but every day has been the same thing for that. And it's been good in a sense. One day a month where I have those 5 minute, where I wake up, I'm oh my God, it's the worst day ever.
I mean, I can relate to both of those, and I feel I'm almost a combination of those two things. I definitely get things set up. I get my clothes set up. I get those put out, because when I get up, I want to be able to just get moving and get into things. But my 5-minute rule almost pertains to the 5 minutes where I start moving in some sort of fashion. Those first 5 minutes for me, I don't feel right. It takes me probably 10 to 15 minutes to even start feeling like I can work out. And then I get to a point where I'm all right, and I start warming up and I feel better, but it takes me some time to even feel like I want to. And having a plan that when I get in, for me, I know it works really well. I have a certain stretch that I start with. I have a certain way that I get going, even if it doesn't have anything to do with the workout that I'm doing. At least I know it. I've almost memorized that routine, and I don't have to think about it because I will get distracted. I will start talking to the person over on the side, and then I get a kill cliff, and now I got a kill cliff and I'm talking, so it's I'm not going anywhere. And then Whitney comes up and we just start dancing randomly, and all this, before you know it, I'm 20 minutes in the gym. I haven't done anything yet. And so for me, having a plan for that first 5 minutes that I walk in and get going in the gym, for me is really, really helpful, because I'm that person, as soon as I see other human beings, I'm immediately distracted. I'm I need to go tell them this thing, and then I need to remind them that. It's wait, you've got a job to do here, and you've got to get moving.
I think lesson from all of this is that we all have these negative and like kind of crappy thoughts that either come maybe right when we wake up because we're like stressed out about our alarm, or maybe like the first 5 minutes of workout don't feel good because 10 people cut us off on the way here, and like the day at work was really a bummer and I'm not in the mood, and like just not having the expectation that you need to be untouchable and you're not going to have negative thoughts, but like allowing them to exist and then just letting them kind of float away. Like I had somebody tell me about, they always imagined like if they have a negative thought, they like see the words and then they like put the words into a river and then like let them flow away. And I think anything like that is like really a good visual cue. Something I still do, like whenever I start having like negative thoughts, even if it's in the middle of the workout, even if I'm warmed up and feel great, I still have some of those like, oh, maybe you need to stop. I actually envision a stop sign in my head to like stop the negativity. Like I think about tracing the outline of a stop sign or the outline of like, are they an octagon? I don't know, whatever that shape is.
She hasn't done it enough.
Yeah, I need to practice that a little bit more. But yeah, I try to
thoughts.
like envision that and kind of just get my mind off of what the negative thought is and like just back into the work. And I think there's something to be said about checking in with yourself and just allowing like a negative thought to go by versus like, oh, maybe I'm injured, I need to stop, and just kind of like understanding the difference between those things and like being okay with the fact that like, hey, yeah, we all still have a little bit of a negative mindset sometimes, but being able to deal with it, let it go away, and kind of that's where the real work is, I think.
Yeah, you can't let those thoughts like manifest. So that's the second part of the 5-minute rule is first 5 minutes when you wake up, first 5 minutes when you enter the gym, right? So I'd say, going off the first thing we were talking about, why people quit, not meeting their goals. Second reason is no time. I have no time for the gym. Well, you probably do, Even though like we work at a gym, own a gym, like there's a lot of stuff that takes up our time dealing with the gym where we really can't work out a lot of days, but we find a way to pull it off. So there's always time. So just show up. And once you show up, those first 5 minutes, like Whitney said, don't let thoughts manifest if they're negative. If they're negative thoughts, just kind of take them and let them go. So don't listen to any negative thoughts in the first 5 minutes. Give yourself 5, 10, 15 to kind of get the blood going. And then after that, hopefully, you'll start to feel better. Because if you say, all right, feeling crappy today, it's going to be a crappy day, it will be a crappy day. Or if you say, I'm feeling weak, you're going to be weak, So if you decide you're going to be strong, or at least lie to yourself, you might surprise yourself. Lie.
I think another thing that kind of pertains to that as it relates to our members and how they can get through something like this, we set up the warm-up because we know that this happens. So we'll set it up where we have you run 400-meter run. And then you've got to start to the next part of the warm-up, and it's a little bit more involved. And then maybe there's another part that's like a skill development part that's even more involved, and it takes a little bit more. So we know that it doesn't just hard to turn it on. So that's why we set it up so that hopefully 10, 15 minutes in, now you don't have a choice. You feel like working out now. Everything that we've done has kind of primed you for that. And both mentally and physically. So.
Definitely. All right, well, let's move on. Number 3 is enjoy the process, and honestly enjoy the process. Don't just say that. Yeah. So what does that mean?
It's easier said than done.
So I was thinking in terms of people have a lot of goals that are quantitative, right? You're like, all right, I'm going to hit this weight by at the end of my 4-week cycle, all right? But the problem with quantitative goals that are measured by numbers, is that you can always improve them. I mean, I guess that's a positive, but it's also a negative because you get greedy and you want more and you want more. And the satisfaction from achieving that weight or that time gets less and less. You're not as satisfied with each one that you do. So have the quantitative goals, but also just have quality goals. Like enjoy every single day. Say this workout is going to make the rest of my day with my kids better. Just have those type of goals. So in the post I talked about, journaling is great. You don't necessarily have to track every weight you do or every workout you do, but just journal. Talk about how you feel or how you're going to attack the day or what was great about that day, and it can give you a lot of good feedback and positive reinforcement to go forward.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that may have started CrossFit and did a particular tester or girl WOD, let's just say Fran, right? They did Fran and it smoked them. They got a certain time on it. It was really hard. They spent the rest of the day on the couch, and that was how they were introduced to CrossFit, or that may have been like one of the first workouts they did. And then they retest it maybe 6 months later and they don't improve it by that much. Okay, but how were you for the rest of the day? I was fine for the rest of the day. I went to work and I did whatever and I played with my kids. Well, that is a victory, and that's things that you want to track, because you might not have actually taken that much time off of it, but your ability to recover and handle the rest of your day is significantly better. So that would be something that you wouldn't see from your time, but there's definitely something to be seen there with improvement.
Yeah, I think there's really no such thing as a bad workout. I think it's great to have goals. We encourage all of our members to have performance goals. Some have really lofty goals to win competitions or go to regionals or whatever it might be. But ultimately, we all still really just want to get a good workout. We want to live longer, healthier lives, and you never lose that. No matter how bad you did in a workout, you always get that. So just kind of adopting that mindset of like, even if everything went wrong today, a lot of things still went right, and you can appreciate that process a lot more.
Sorry, I'm stealing microphones. Yeah, I feel like I really relate to this topic, and like just thinking about maybe you do a workout and you're doing, let's say, chest to bars, my favorite, and you like get through them and you're dying and you're struggling and you get so frustrated and you just like leave the gym and you can't talk to anyone because you're just like discouraged, you're failing, like, and that feeling, that like guttural feeling of like crap, like I suck or whatever it is that's coming up for you, that's what comes up for me a lot, is there. And so maybe 2 days later or maybe a week later you come back and there's chest to bars again, and like, okay, like I haven't had enough time to make real progress with my chest to bar skill, but all right, let's work on the mental aspect of it and like break down the workout differently. And maybe you still fail, but at the end of the workout, you're smiling and you can talk to somebody else about it, or you can have a coach come over and help you through the midway through the workout. I think there's like a reflection process where that stuff has to happen. Like you have to be willing to grow and to look at yourself. And like I've had workouts where I've like left the gym all huff and puff and like really upset because exactly I've been like failing at chest to bars and I should be better, and all of that mental, I like to call it garbage, is in my brain. And I have to come back and like look at that and know that, all right, that's going to be my victory. That's going to be the process that I'm going to love today and grow through. Even though I might not technically be better or more skillful at chest to bars, I'm going to work on that mental part of it. And like that's where you have to grow, and that's what you have to really love, because if you're able to do that, then you're going to be able to really perform better and really actually make leaps and bounds in the skill, in the endurance, and in the weights. So I think having an open mind to look at what you're doing and who you are in the gym and how you're showing up, not only for yourself but for the people around you too, is important.
I don't know if you guys see this, but one of the things that I'll notice with kind of our newer members is almost every single new member comes in with a goal that's, usually it's fat loss related. It could be to add muscle or gain strength. And it's a goal that's not process related, right? We're talking about enjoying the process, and it's a very specific goal separate from the process. It's the end result. And then when I kind of see a shift and I know that person is really going to succeed is when somewhere between like 3 months and a year in, they make the shift, and all of a sudden, like they're less closed off in class. They're more open to like building relationships and friendships, asking questions. Some of that ego drops, and there's like this shift in their personality, and okay, this person is going to be successful in CrossFit for a really long time because they still have the goals, and the goals might even be bigger and more prominent than they ever were, but they've made this distinct shift towards like enjoying the process.
Well, and that's the thing with that too, like they may have not hit their goal yet, but like their goal will hit so much faster from that too, and that's where that mental shift takes place. I think all of this is like everything we've been talking about is very much mental. Like it's just this mental thing we're trying to capture. And Like that's what, just trying to get right mentally in any capacity. Like you will always get better and learn more if you are mentally stable. Like if you are freaking out every time you do, like with what you were saying with chest to bar, every time you're like, oh my God, I'm the worst at this. The second the workout you see it, you're gonna be like, oh my God, chest to bar, I'm the worst at this. I can't wait to be the worst at this again. Like it's gonna come every single time. So when you change your mindset a little bit and be like, oh wait, today I'm just gonna do what I can. I'll do all singles today, get them done. I did way better than I thought. I actually did 5s today, or whatever it might be. Just getting better mentally and being okay with with the process. You don't even have to accept it yet, but being okay with it will move you towards that gradual acceptance of it, and then the ride is really fun after that. Like I know like for myself, I was just like grind. Obviously, like that's what I do. I just like to go. Like I like to go, and then it caught up to me so many times. Still does all the time. But it caught up to me. That, like I remember like exactly when it did, and it hit me so hard, and I was like, I hurt my back, and no progress was made. It was right before I like started with the coach I have now, and like it was 2 years ago, and it was 2 weeks, like barely could work out. I didn't want to work out. I didn't want to coach because I was like, couldn't even be in the gym. I hated everything. And I got with them, I got excited again, and like I already started seeing progress just because I was like not trying to do everything and all of everything. Like I did literally everything, but like just accepting that and just being like, okay, fate is in your coach's hands or in whatever, and it just go with it. Go with the process. We here, I know, like I can speak for us because I know what we're trying to do here. Our plan for the gym is to get people better. It's not to just be like, oh, let's kill them today. I can't wait for them to bleed 22-minute AMRAP of death. Like, not fully, but like
Josh spoke those.
Josh maybe, but we don't, like that's not our entire plan. We might give you a little one in there, but knowing that, like we have a very strict plan with what we want to do program-wise, and for a community and for our gym. So because of that, just follow the process. Like it'll work if you accept that, like that we are trying to help you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that goes back to Zach's point of telling an athlete to try RX instead of RTG today, you know? And it's truly maturity, you know, to be able to just say, you know, I have a different plan for today, or I have an RX plan instead of an RTG plan. Like it's maturity. You see it. It's cool to see in our athletes.
I also feel like enjoying the process for me involves doing things sometimes that might not be part of my plan for the day, but it just feels right and it makes me feel good. Sometimes I throw on an iPod and I just run, not because I need to run more or do more conditioning. Knowing my program, I probably already did enough conditioning for the day. I just do it because it makes me feel good and it clears my mind. Or I have an off day, like Wednesday I had an off day and he had a workout. It was just, he didn't really want to do it and I thought it looked kind of cool, so I was like, all right, let's do it. And that has multiple things to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we just had fun. We got to be out in the sun, do some cool stuff. And I got to be there for a teammate who didn't really want to do that workout, and so we built that a little bit. And I was supposed to take an off day. I was not supposed to work out, and it was a bigger workout. It took us a while to do it, but it just made me feel good, and it was enough to get me through the week, even though I was tired, and I still am. But it just got me into a mental place where it made me excited to keep working out for the rest of the week.
I think like kind of piggybacking off of that, like your process isn't going to be perfect, right? It's not ever going to be 100% A+ work, but your process is your process and it's for you.
Yeah.
It's different for everyone, and the best part about it is that you get to know who you are, like through and through. Like you look at the best athletes of this sport, and like you always hear commentators saying like they truly know themselves. They know when to push, when to do this, when to do that. And like that's such a useful skill, not in the gym, but in your life, like to know yourself, like to be able to handle situations that come up well and like not get super frustrated. Like you don't want to be that guy that gets rear-ended on accident and loses his head, and like all of a sudden you're that douchebag that like lost his head in the car accident. Said like it teaches you how to understand yourself, and like you're gonna have those moments where you might be not your best self. And like it teaches you, okay, this is what happened. I wasn't my best self. This is my reaction to that. This is how I can respond better next time. Put that plan into action in the gym, outside of the gym, and in your life. And that's part of this process, and that's something I'm truly grateful for the sport for, because in the sport I was doing before, I never really looked at that, and I never really grew as an athlete. Like I got better at my sport, but I never grew as an individual, as myself. So that's pretty much why I love the process.
Awesome. All right, cool. We'll move on. Number 4. Number 4 was get your diet and sleep on track. So looking at those two, is there one that stands out as more important for you guys?
I'd say diet is the most important. I know, you can go over this all day, but I'd say diet and hydration, because we see a lot of athletes. I tend to think of the afternoon people when I talk about this, because you get people that try to come in at 5 or 6 after a long day of work, and they just tell you, I got nothing today. And I'm like, follow the 5-minute rule, don't listen to anything, do 5 minutes of work at warm up, and then, tell yourself you feel great. But, I'll ask them, what did you eat today, or what did you drink today? And it turns out they didn't have anything of substance since about noon or maybe before that. Like nothing, like not even like, a hydrate, something, electrolyte drink or anything. Yeah, a pouch, something. But they're just totally, so it's not necessarily what can you do to be a better athlete, just stop going backwards, or stop, making that gym trip not possible because you didn't eat or drink before.
Well, and also seeing that is just as important as getting all of your work done that you have for your workouts. Like some people will come in and they're going to just put themselves and floor themselves on their workout, but then you'll ask them that question and they'll say, well, I haven't eaten anything since 11 o'clock. Well, that's part of what you need to be doing in order to get better. So if you're hitting all the workouts, but you're disregarding your diet completely, you're not getting better, you're probably getting worse. And if you started viewing that as the workout, like part of your goal, if not more important than the snatch you hit later, is eating 3 times before you get to the gym, or hitting this much calories before you get in, or knowing where you got to hit, because I think for some people they don't view that as a challenging task, when in reality it's way more challenging than getting to the workout. So for a lot of people, if they just shifted their intensity and their focus in what they're trying to achieve, they would probably do a little bit better. A lot of people think the workout is where they got to put all their effort into it. Well, if you would have just eaten a few things earlier, you'd feel a lot better right now. You'd have other options. You maybe would do something else. So I don't know. Most people get to a point where they have very little when they walk in our doors.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at I like to just talk about myself just because it's easy. Like I know how to shift that, but like when I'm gonna work out, because I'll eat 90 minutes before, and there will be nothing done. I'll be eating nothing but drinking water up until I work out. So I will. It's every day, every single day is the same thing. Maybe an hour, but nothing after that. Like I will not be scarfing down food unless it's like a very 911 instant. That doesn't usually happen. And if after that I'm going into my work and I still feel really crappy, I will not work out. Like I will not. Zach and I talk about this all the time. Like you're like, hey, like I ate. Again, it sucks because it's like, damn, I wasted that meal for no reason. It's like, damn it. But like, it's like the food is fuel. Like that is what it is. That's literally what it's for. Like you don't need it for anything else. You need to fuel your body to live. Like, I mean, you need to live, but that's what I mean. Like it's fuel. So if you're not fueling yourself for hours, your body goes into starvation mode after 4 hours, but it's really like 3.5, and it starts eating things off your body. So like, and not that like, nothing left, getting so skinny, but like that's what happens. And if you're coming into a workout starving, and maybe you don't feel it, but your body knows it. Your body and mind aren't completely in touch always, unless you practice this, but it's just like it is so important, because with that, if you get your nutrition right, your sleep will follow. Okay, and if it doesn't, if your nutrition's okay and your sleep is messed up, you'll know that you'll know it's all because of your sleep. So you have to adjust because of that. If you don't sleep well and you don't eat well, you don't know what is wrong, what's happening. Your cortisol levels will be screwed up through the roof, and trying to work out with ridiculous cortisol levels is very hard. It's very hard.
So if we were to give someone a simple, something they could take away with them, they want to have their best workout today, what is it, 60 to 90 minutes before? What should they eat 60 to 90 minutes
90.
before?
Like
90
try to
minutes
do
before.
90 and carb up. Carb up.
Carb.
I mean, I tell all my people, I have them do protein and carb. I have like a document, and I do, like, if you come, like, let's stick to the 5 p.m. people.
Yeah.
Breakfast, fat and protein. Stick to that meal. Less carbs. Snack, fat and protein. So we'll say 7 a.m., 9 a.m., snack or fat and protein. Noon will be a full meal. Protein, carb, fat, lower fat. One more meal between there would be a protein and carb meal, which it could be a shake. Could be whatever, like something with very low fat, under 5 grams, even lower than that, but just to like an easier number. And then post-workout would be protein, carbs, a lot of them, and then finish the day with whatever you have left. But like that would be ideal, just getting some protein and carbs in there. You don't need fat. You don't need fat for your workout. And we talked about this the other day. You don't need fat after your workout. So like that, people getting like the perfect bar after the workout, not ideal. Maybe for after that, like now they're 90 minutes
dessert.
later. But yeah, for like a dessert for later.
Yeah.
But like it is just very important to get the carbs in there. It's just important for you mentally, like, and we talked about this the other day, just like that cool down period and getting the carbs in after that. Before that, getting your cool down period before, so your brain is ready to handle what you're about to throw at it. But the carbs are a big thing for all you that say they don't eat carbs. Eat them.
I think just like the biggest shift that I made, and I think everyone could make it with food. I think food and like body image is a huge topic amongst everyone, like men and women in any sport. But when I swam, and this is not very healthy and I don't like to admit it, but I kind of had this like work reward relationship with food. Like I would eat according to how hard I worked or how hard I thought I worked. Not necessarily like how many yards I actually did, but like actually how hard I pushed myself, and then I would allow myself to eat, whatever I wanted, or, like, so I had this relationship where my food wasn't fuel, it was a reward. And that wasn't really healthy, actually. It's not very healthy, and it didn't work for me. I wasn't performing my best at all. And I think a lot of us have that relationship with food. I don't know if it's like a societal thing of like, hey, work hard, eat hard, whatever it is. And then you kind of like judge yourself of like how hard you worked and like deprive yourself maybe of food. Or maybe like you do one workout really good and you have like 14 beers, like who knows what that is. But I think making that mental shift of having food be a reward and moving that over to having food being fuel, fuel for your body, fuel for your brain all day long, not just, when you feel like working hard or depriving yourself of when you don't work hard. And that for me made a huge difference, just not only in my performance at the gym, but just like my mental performance, how I was relating to other people. I could actually like have a conversation with them and look them in the eye because I was like fueled. I wasn't like thinking about, beating myself up for not doing this hard enough and now I'm only going to eat 4 noodles and 10 pieces of broccoli or, whatever it is. So I just think like making that distinction in between and in your relationship with food and like what it is for you is important.
I love it. All right, let's move on. Last, 5th and final thing we talked about is start tracking or journaling. So what are some of the benefits that you guys have seen with tracking or journaling workouts?
I mean, well, I was just like, I have a coach that I check in with every day. Like he has a document for me. I fill it in after every workout for the most part, unless I'm dead. But I fill it in and he gives me feedback, so on and so forth. But it's just cool to see that over time. And I've been working with him coming up on a lot of years. Like it's been a couple years now. And just seeing that, I haven't tested my max back squat in 2 years. And I hit well over my max that I tested for like a double. Actually, I hit it for 5 a couple weeks ago, and like easy, like it was not a big deal, and it was just cool. Like I was like, like that was awesome, like so cool, and just seeing that, just it helps with that like mental, like yes, like this works. I guess he knows what he's talking about. This is cool, But and like also just seeing some of my comments I made. So like we have like he'll retest some things like literally like from the first week, and I'm like, oh, I don't remember ever doing this. And they'll be like, from week 1, and I'm like, I never did this workout. And I go back and I'm like, oh my God, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. Oh, like I almost threw up after one rep.
I will never forget this workout.
I'll never forget this. This is the worst. And I'm like, I literally don't remember it. And what is really cool about that is like, wow, like it wasn't that bad. Like I did it again. I was like, that sucked. I remember like why I probably wrote that, but I don't actually remember that. And I've definitely improved from it. And it was just also improved where I'm like, wow, like I beat my time. Mentally, I'm okay. I'm not dying. It's really cool to see that and to see that part. Not even just like, yeah, like I did this, but like Zach already kind of mentioned this, but just being like, wow, like I got through the rest of the day. Like the rest of the day is okay. I was able to bring my dogs to the park in 90-degree weather where I don't want to die, even though it's hot. Like it's cool to see that and bring like CrossFit's all about bringing it into your life, it's functional. You want to do it like, I was at Publix yesterday and I had a bag and I was like pulling it away and I was like, farmer's carry. I don't think I've ever done that before, but I was like, farmer's carry. I feel good right now.
You did it all in one trip, right?
Yeah, I did it all in one trip. Yeah, don't for time, 2 seconds. And but no, like it was just really cool. Like I've never actually done that knowingly doing that. I probably do that all the time, but and just seeing that in the real world. So like documenting that and seeing those huge or small milestones. Even if it's 1 second, it's a big milestone. But also again seeing the way I felt, like at the end, like I have my work, what I did, and then it's like scale 1 to 10, how do you feel? It's like for like a year, it was like 10, dead, death, 9.5, 9.78. It's like so, like I'm like almost dead, but not as bad as yesterday. Like, and just funny, like it's not like that anymore. Like I still hurt, but like it's not 9s usually. Not like 8.95 really. But it's cool. Like I like that. I like seeing that tracked.
I think it's a good point, just because you think about the numbers or your times or your strength, some of the numbers that you hit. But for me, I just recently went back and looked at a blog that I had. My coach had me doing a WordPress blog back like almost 2 years ago, and I hadn't looked at it in a long time, and the numbers and everything were interesting, but the comments that I wrote were way better. And it was like reading through some of these, and I wrote like a paragraph like, oh, I just feel so beat up today, and I feel defeated, and this and that. And I'm looking at the workout going, man, I can do that whole thing unbroken now, or whatever it is. And there's no time there, and there's no score to definitively compare. But just by reading the comments and knowing what I'm capable of now just makes me feel good, just reading that. And that's just one day out of, I went back, I looked at many days and just looking at all of them. Some of the times were really impressive. Some of them I've beaten by a lot. But, I would read things about, how just badly I felt about how I did on this workout or how badly I did at this. And looking back on it now, I'm like, Zach, why were you beating yourself up? That wasn't even that bad. It wasn't really that bad. But going back and reading those things will make you feel pretty good sometimes.
Yeah, it's more meaningful, right? Like it made you feel good. Like taking 10 seconds off your time, that didn't make you feel that great, but like you read like the difference in how you felt, and like you got a whole lot more out of it. I think so. That's why I think like, yeah, the tracking is great, but also journaling, just like really talking about how you feel, and that works in your personal life as well. Like if you're going through like really high highs right now or really low lows, like your life is going to go up and down. So, if you think you're at the bottom right now, write about it. It might be the worst story in the world to you that you think you can write or that anyone could write. But you're going to look back at that story in 6 months to a year and say, I got through it. That wasn't that bad. Can relate that to CrossFit. I encourage everyone that's just starting CrossFit or wherever you are in your CrossFit career, just start writing about it. And you can see over time, like, how it progresses.
And that's a good point because, you know, for me, I forgot what point I had. It'll come back. Or maybe it won't. I don't know how much.
You can get back to it. I was going to say, one of the things that I love about journaling and tracking, you guys kind of touched on the ability to go back after time has passed, but I think there's this very subtle sense of accomplishment in the moment when you write something down. Like you finished your day of workouts and it was a hard day, and then you just write it down, you share some of the thoughts and feelings you have, and you get this like sense of accomplishment. And it's like that little moment of reflection that you've built into your day that most of us won't do if we don't have systems built in to force us to do that. You know, most of us are just go, go, go. We're looking at the next milestone. And this is just a quick, you know, couple minutes to be like, yeah, I accomplished all this today. I got through it. You know, maybe you did PR, maybe you didn't, but either way, there's still that little sense of accomplishment that I find really nice when you've journaled or tracked something.
Yeah, actually, that's a huge point because that's true. And it actually even better when you do that and you have a horrible day. Because then you're like, you know what? Like I felt like on Wednesday, well, I did have a good moment, but I felt mentally, I was like, this is going, like I had, the 5 minutes did not work for me on Wednesday. And I was like, this is going to be crap. Like, this is horrible. I don't want to do this. But like, I mean, I'm very systematic. So I was like, I'm going to do it anyways. Like, it doesn't matter. And I went through it and I started, like, the way my coach wrote it was like, it was perfect. It was like, I did some pulls, did some cleans. And I was like, wow, the cleans were really good. It felt really good. And then I was like, oh, the rest of this sucks. Like, this, I hate life. And then Zach did that workout with me, and the day ended up being way better. Like, I was like, I did not want to do that. I was like, this is too many reps. Like, this is going to hurt. And it wasn't even for time. It was like for quality. Obviously, we timed it, but and we went unbroken. But like, whatever.
Happy with the time.
I had to throw that out there. But
how fast was that quality?
14:58. But
it was pretty quality, actually.
But what we like at the end of it, I was like, I am way like I literally didn't care what happened through that day. It was more like I am really happy I was able to do this. Like I physically do this. I did not think I was like I'm gonna do one part of this today and I'm not doing anything else. And I haven't thought about that like that in that way in a long time. And like seeing that reflection at the end of the day was very cool because I was like, that was good. Like I'm glad I did that, and I'm glad Zach joined me on that. Like that was great.
I just thought of what I was going to say before.
But, he's back.
Well, it was to his point, and then it kind of goes off yours, but it's kind of the opposite. I don't like to write things down. Like when I'm done with the workout and my day's over, I don't like to do it. I don't know if I'm lazy. I just don't want to do it. I get there and I start writing. I'm like, oh, I don't feel like doing this. But I always am so glad that I did when I look back on it later. And I get that with a lot, especially with our beach fitters, because they're not so used to tracking things. But sometimes we'll do something and we'll say, we want you to remember what this was. And 85, 90% of them will not write it down. 10% of them will, and those people are always so stoked when they see what they got. They're like, yeah, I did this. Everyone else is like, man, I wish I wrote my time down. Well, we told you to. But, and then now more people do it now. But, but when you're doing it, you might not feel like it's important, or you might not feel like it's going to mean anything. But then 6 months, a year down the road, you pull that up and you read it, and it does mean a lot. You're really happy that you had journaled it.
And actually, one more quick thing, too. Just going on, because we're hitting journaling and all that stuff. Videotapes, like, videos are amazing.
Yeah,
and
video your stuff.
Shared this with Zach yesterday, but I have, like, that time hop thing. I post a ton of videos on Instagram, and, like, whatever. Like, that's what I do. I love it. But, like, I had one, and, like, it was, like, the 30 squat snatches at 155 from last year. And I just did that, like, 2 weeks ago. I forgot I even did that. Like, again, forgetting. And that was horrible the first time I did that. And it looks not great. Like, it's just like, he did it. Like, he survived. But, like, and my time was, like, it was, like, 4:58 or something like that. I did this the other day, like, very fast. Like, literally half the time that it took me to do that. And it just looked it just looked pretty. Like, compared to the other one looked like I'd never snatched before compared to this video. And I was like, wow, like, I didn't remember that. But, like, seeing it next to each other was like, wow, like, I feel really good right now. Like, I'm not going to work out today, but I want to think about this. This is awesome.
Yeah, I was there with him when I was watching the video, and you could put the two videos together, and you don't even need to know what the time was. You could stop it after a minute. You wouldn't know which one was faster. You could just watch him move with silence, with no time, and just see it, and you would know how much better he was. And that's kind of what we've been getting at, is if you keep track of some of these things, there's intangible progress, and you can't necessarily put your finger on it, but when you can see something like that next to each other, it says a lot. And that's, I think, if people, just a quick little video of your last clean of your workout, and then tuck it away somewhere and look at it 4 months down the road, you'd be really surprised at how much you're progressing, especially if you're coming consistently with us, because I know we're working a lot on barbell movements.
Yeah, and you will forget. So if you don't have the video proof, you don't have the journal,
Didn't
no matter
happen.
how much that workout hurts, as Don mentioned earlier, you're going to forget. You're going to forget certain elements of it, how you moved. So it's just key to track it and have the evidence to go back to. So I think that wraps up the episode for today. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Lots of pearls and nuggets in that one. See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Man.